everyone, it's been a while. I want to kind of do these update videos every so often where I kind of talk about what I've been working on lately. So I think with this podcast hiatus or break I'm taking, I figure now is as good a time as any to give you an idea on some of the projects I've been working on. If you follow me on Twitter or you follow me on YouTube, you know that I have been working on a couple of workout apps that were previously just independent watch apps. They actually didn't have an iPhone component. We found a couple of problems with this. One is just the lack of interface on a watch, as you might imagine, kind of similar to how people complain about iPads versus Macs. A little bit like that. There isn't a lot of screen there, so there's not a lot of complex stuff that you can do on the watch, and that's kind of the way that is. The other issue that we ran into is just App Store exposure is really hard. It's hard to tell people how to download and install the app. It's not quite as easy as it is on the iPhone, and then just finding the app is really hard. So we saw a lot of benefits in both these cases. GBeat's a client of mine, and HardTwitch is actually my actual app under HardTwitch, or under BrightDigit, excuse me. We just wanted to build an iPhone app for these apps. So previously they were all watch containers. If you look at ever a target of an independent watch app that doesn't have an iPhone component, you'd see something where you have a watch container and you would have the watch app and then the watch extension. And essentially what we did is we converted the watch container to the iPhone app. As far as converting it over, I use Xcode Gen for my projects. So I don't actually put the Xcode project in GitHub or GitLab or I don't check it in. And then I use Fastlane. If you follow me on Twitter, you know I've been using Fastlane to upload the app. All through CI and GitLab, and that's worked fantastically. And now I got screenshots and frames, which is awesome. I really like that. Maybe I'll start doing that with the watch part too. The biggest challenge now that we've deployed the app to the App Store is the fact that previous customers couldn't download the iPhone app. I posted about this on Twitter, but previous customers, they would just see the app as purchased in the App Store, even though they wanted to update to the app that has both the iPhone app and the watch app, and they barely could do it. I think this was fixed in 15.6, and I know it's fixed in 16.0 beta, so that's great. Yeah, a lot of it was just jumping back into WatchConnectivty. I hadn't done WatchConnectivity in a long time. I ended up building my own Swift package for it. If you look up Sundial Kit, I'm using that right now. I built that Swift package. I'm going to be adding documentation to it soon so you can know how to use it. It's a great way for folks if they want to do watch connectivity and send messages, or just being able to understand network quality. It does that for you as well. But we have messages set up between the phone and the watch where we can find out what the current status is of the workout on the watch, since that's kind of the main part of the main device for workouts. And then we have the end workout and start workout messages as well that can be sent from the from the phone to the watch. You can tell here we got like watch connectivity, so you have a UI. I'm adding actually a watch extension. I haven't done that in a long time as well, because I'm going to be jumping into how to start a workout from the phone to the watch when the watch is on. With the way watch connectivity works is you can send a message to the phone to the watch even when the app isn't launched yet, but you can't really launch the app. So I have messaging in HardTwitch that says, hey, great, you've started the workout, but you need to start the app. And then as soon as you start the app starts a workout right away, which is great. So yeah, that's as far as HardTwitch. If you're ever interested in learning more about watch connectivity, or converting a watch app to an iPhone app with the watch app, however, you know what I mean? Anyway, if you're ever interested in that stuff, let me know in the comments or send me a DM or reply to me on Twitter, because I'd love to showcase how that stuff works. The other thing I've been working on lately actually is refactoring a lot of the code base behind the BrightDigit website. Earlier this year, we did a major redesign. I moved it over to publish by Sundial in Swift, and I've been working on kind of refactoring a lot of it around So the content of the website is mostly Markdown with some stuff that's actually coded out in Swift using Plot, I believe. I always get the two confused. There's Ink and Plot. Plot, I think, is the one that renders HTML from Swift. So, and it uses the argument parser as well. I'm pulling content from YouTube, from this YouTube channel here, as well as my podcast and my newsletter, and it'll automatically create the Markdown for it. So all this Markdown here, oh, not that one. All this Markdown here is essentially generated from my Transistor podcast and the YouTube channel, and it basically renders all this Markdown automatically out. I just have to run a command. Here's Daniela's last one, and here's the one with Michaela and Rendrack and Evan. So all that stuff pulls the show notes in. But yeah, I'm just kind of like working on splitting up. The package was just kind of like 2 packages. And take a look here. If we go here, here we go. Let's go to main. Yeah, you can see we went from 3 targets to now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 targets. And so I've been working on that, kind of, hopefully that'll fix some of the speed issues. And I've been doing a lot of work with GitLab CI. This is all in GitLab, it's a private repo, but I'd like to take parts of this and make it public, especially some of the custom plugins that I have here. So yeah, I'm just kind of working on major refactoring. I think I'm mostly there right now, and then maybe I'll get some of these components and move them out into open source GitHub repos, because I'd like to share that with folks. And if you have any questions about migrating from WordPress, I have a thing for migrating from WordPress, any of that stuff, let me know. I'd love to help out anyone when it comes to that stuff. But yeah, I think this refactor is nearly done. I think there's a couple other things I want to do, but I'm more or less there. I had a great chat at WWDC with one of their folks, and they're like, yeah, one of the big ways to get faster Swift package development, or excuse me, compiling, is splitting up into different targets and cleaning up your dependencies that way. And so that's kind of what I've been working on here. One other thing I've been working on is SharePlay. I've really kind of interested in playing around with SharePlay. This is my code sandbox app I've been using called Floxbox. It's available on GitHub if you want to take a look at my code. But one of the issues I've run into in Xcode 14 is they fixed an apparent bug in Swift. Somebody wants to correct me if I'm wrong, go ahead. But Swift 5.6, you are not supposed to be able to do stored properties being marked as unavailable, and they fixed this in Xcode 14, Swift 5.7. So I need to figure out a workaround for this. Part of me just wants to not support iOS 14 in my sandbox, but I know that there's going to be use cases where folks will need to, so this will be super helpful. This is a Vapor backend Postgres app. It's got the code for setting up the Docker images and all that stuff. Swift UI. So yeah. This is kind of, I don't know, does anybody else have like little GitHub projects where they test out different APIs? I just kind of throw everything I am. It's a super simple to-do app. But SharePlay is surprisingly much easier than I thought it was going to be. It's more wrapping my head around some of the stuff with async await, which I've been deep diving more into. If you want to learn more about async await, definitely check out Vincent's episode as well as Marin. They both talk about async await and how it works. The SharePlay is a lot easier than I think it is. It's mostly a user interface challenge, being able to let people know about it and being able to interact with it in an easy way for both users connected. This is obviously the custom SharePlay, not video or audio stuff, so it's a little bit trickier, but yeah, if you're interested, I have the repo in GitHub. You can definitely check that out. Last but not least, I think one of my favorite projects I've been working on lately is playing around with the virtualization framework. And I've working on an app I like to call Bushel for now, BSHILL, like bushel of apples. I don't know. I try to be clever. I don't know if I am though. But it's a way I'm hoping macOS app developers can test out their apps in different setups. Kind of the way we use iOS simulators. I want to be able to do the same thing with Macs. And so that's kind of my goal here with Bushel, is make it as easy as possible for macOS developers to get started. I've set up a way to do libraries of different OSs. You have to download those yourself or use the API. So right here I have, you know, all the betas for Ventura and macOS Monterey. You can go in. I'm going to have an interface here for being able to pick how many CPUs you want, how big of a disk drive you want, how resolution, all that kind of stuff here. I haven't gotten that far yet. I'm kind of just trying to get to the point where I can just start the machine, and then I know, okay, now I'm nearly there, so that's good. And then yeah, you can just build the machine. Kind of like if you ever, so these use what's called an IPSW file or an iTunes restore image. If you in the old days ever wanted to, like, let's say you messed up an iPhone and you want to reinstall the operating system, you use those files. And like on your iPhone or iPad, typically you have like the Apple icon, right, with the progress bar at the bottom. I kind of want to do that here when you're installing the operating system, because it's kind of looks similar. But yeah, this will build the virtual machine, and then you can get started with that. And it's the biggest challenge I've run into, honestly, is like sandboxing and getting around any of the issues with sandboxing. Otherwise, and SwiftUI, of course, has its own quirks, right? But yeah, I want to do this all in SwiftUI, and yeah, that's kind of the big project there. If you're interested, it's on GitHub. If you want to be a beta tester, let me know. As we get closer, I'll definitely put this out. But yeah, that's kind of the big project I've been working on. Oh, and yeah, this is where I've been deep diving also into async await, so that's kind of cool. Let me know if you have any questions, and if you really like this video and you think I should do this more often, let me know. Like and subscribe, of course, and share this with others. I'm hoping to give you more updates on some of the stuff I've been playing around with. See you next time.